Mr. Speaker, I want to emphasize that Ghana remains relatively stable despite a number of threats, both external and internal, that could potentially undermine its security and its stability. These threats, Mr. Speaker, have become prominent in recent times, and they include crime, land and chieftaincy disputes, terrorism, violent extremism, piracy, and the activities of secessionist groups. Mr. Speaker, with regard to crime, the year 2021 was marked with a spate of criminal activities such as robbery and murder, with notable attacks on bullion vans, shop operators, mobile money vendors, fuel stations, marketplaces, forest bureau, commuters on highways, churches, among others. But Mr. Speaker, in a bid to curb these criminal activities in the country and safeguard the lives, property, and livelihoods of the citizenry, the Ghana Police Service have instituted a number of measures. In particular, Mr. Speaker, highway patrols and night patrols have been enhanced through the deployment of personnel within Accra and Tema from multiple specialized units, such as the Police Intelligence Directorate, Armed Motorbike Patrol, and Combat Teams. Mr. Speaker, we've also introduced the horse patrol operations. This has been launched in Accra to augment existing patrol operations and also increase police visibility. There is a shuttle service that has been introduced to facilitate the movement of police personnel from their places of residence to their duty posts. There are plans also, Mr. Speaker, to extend the formed police unit currently operating in the Greater Accra region for the Southern Command to the Northern Command in Tamale and also the Middle Command in Kumasi. Measures have also been put in place to ensure the free flow of traffic and to deter the youth who rob unsuspecting persons under the guise of directing traffic. There have been anti-motorbike operations across the country, with some personnel deployed to various intersections. And also, Speaker, to ensure effective monitoring and also supervision. These days, senior police officers are assigned monitoring duties on a rotational basis to oversee all-night deployments from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. daily. And if I may add, Mr. Speaker, the informant reward system has been introduced to encourage citizens to report suspected crimes to the police in exchange for a reward. Mr. Speaker, following the institution of the aforementioned measures, there has been a noticeable, and I mean a noticeable decline in criminal activities across the country. Mr. Speaker, the first quarter of 2022 has also been characterized by some tensions emanating from land and chieftaincy programs, notably the tension between the Kusasis and the Mampusis in the Boko municipality of the Upper East region. Mr. Speaker, it will be recalled that in November last year, a curfew was imposed on Boko following reports of gunshots in the area ahead of the Samampid Festival, which was celebrated in December. Mr. Speaker, although the festival was observed with no major incidents, it was followed with some isolated cases of gun attacks, resulting in the death of some persons, including one police officer, Constable Regina Adjenu. Disturbingly, Mr. Speaker, between the 14th and 16th of March, there were further reports of gunshots resulting in the death of some persons and injury of others including 3 personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces. Mr. Speaker, the aforesaid development underscores the need to intensify existing security measures in Bawku, and to that end, Mr. Speaker, the RECSEC continues to institute a number of measures to arrest the situation. There are ongoing investigations to unravel the individuals behind the shooting incidents. We try to make sure that all persons connected to shooting incidents are arrested as quickly as possible, and we continue to intercept arms and ammunition through the conduct of stop and search operations. Mr. Speaker, the honorable members from the area, namely Zabila, Bawku Central, Garu, Pusiga, Tempani, and Binduri, paid a visit to Bawku. Mr. Speaker, this was on their own initiative, and when they did visit the area, they met the Regional Security Council, that is the RECSEC, as well as the BUSEC. They also met with the Bawku Naba, with community leaders, with the Pusigana, as well as residents of certain communities, all in an effort to resolve the conflict. And Mr. Speaker, we will want to take this opportunity to thank the honorable members and this honorable House also for that very commendable action. Mr. Speaker, maintaining peace and security in the Bawku area has not been entirely easy for us, but we probably can see some light at the end of the tunnel. On behalf of the Mampusis, Mr. Speaker, the Nairi, the overlord of the Mampusis, has recently communicated that as a peace-loving king, it is his strong conviction that matters pertaining to chieftaincy should be settled through time-tested institutions, and we believe he and his people will do just that. Last week, Mr. Speaker, the Bawku Naba was also in Accra, had a meeting with us, and assured us that he would also do all that was necessary to get his people to desist from violent activities. So we believe it will be long before we see the end of the hostilities. So, Speaker, let me also say that Ghana was ranked 93rd in the recently published Global Terrorism Index for 2022. According to the index, Ghana is considered a country with no impact on terrorism. Mr. Speaker, in spite of this, our neighbors, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, and Mali, were ranked 4th, 6th, and 7th respectively, while the Sahel region was identified as the global center of terrorism, accounting for 48% of global terrorism-related deaths. Mr. Speaker, although the index indicates a positive outlook for Ghana, the proximity of terrorist activities to the country, coupled with ongoing attempts by armed groups to extend their activities southwest, demands that we in Ghana should remain on high alert to avert a terrorist infiltration. And in view of this, Mr. Speaker, the government has instituted a number of proactive measures. There are ongoing counter-terrorism operations along the borders of the country. We've published and are implementing the Ghana's framework for preventing and countering terrorism and violent extremism. Mr. Speaker, we have initiated efforts to retool the various state security and intelligence agencies, and I want to again take the opportunity to thank the Honorable House and members of the Defense and Interior Committees for their tremendous support and encouragement in the effort to retool the various security and intelligence agencies. But we've also, Mr. Speaker, not forgotten about the usefulness of the soft options approach. And through the soft options approach, we are expediting development and providing employment for the youth, particularly in the areas likely to be targeted by terrorists. This, Mr. Speaker, is necessary so that it becomes difficult for the youth in these areas to be radicalized. Mr. Speaker, we also recognize the need to cooperate and also to work together with our colleagues in the sub-region. And it is for this reason that through the initiative of our president, we have set up what has now become known as the Accra Initiative. Mr. Speaker, the Accra Initiative is now globally acknowledged as a brilliant initiative and is seen as the best way for the coastal states in the Gulf of Guinea area to respond to the challenges posed by the terrorists. Mr. Speaker, I might also add that the Gulf of Guinea has become the hot spot for pirate attacks in the world. According to the 2020 annual piracy report of the International Maritime Bureau, a total of 82 actual and attempted pirate attacks were recorded in the Gulf of Guinea in 2022. And this, Mr. Speaker, represented 42% of all pirate attacks recorded globally. During the first quarter of 2021, the Gulf of Guinea again accounted for nearly half, 43% of all reported piracy incidents. So, Speaker, we try to do everything possible to face up to the challenges involved with the piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. And in a bid to ensure that our territorial waters remain safe from piracy, the government is undertaking the following. 4 new state-of-the-art vessels capable of effectively patrolling the country's territorial waters were recently procured and commissioned thanks to the House for its support. The government also intends to leverage Ghana's membership on the UN Security Council to mobilize global support towards addressing piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. Again, Mr. Speaker, we are leveraging the position of Ghana's president as chairperson of ECOWAS to aggressively push for the full implementation of the Yaoundé architecture for maritime security, while calling on countries along the Gulf of Guinea to adopt a cooperative approach toward mitigating piracy. So, Speaker, another significant threat to the stability and security of our nation is the resurgence in the activities of secessionist groups. So, Speaker, the year 2022 commenced with the hope that the secessionist groups would probably cease their activities. This has not been the case, and indications are that these groups are gathering fresh momentum to launch a series of attacks in the country, and we're doing everything to ensure that we will be able to manage the situation. And as a result of this development, Mr. Speaker, we have undertaken a number of measures. We have what we call the Operation Motherland, which is a counter-secession operation in the Eastern Corridor. The government has also begun a series of engagements with the chiefs and people of the Volta region to build a strong social cohesion against the secessionist agenda. And so, Speaker, if I may add, it is worth pointing out that the activities of the secessionist groups do not have the support of the chiefs, and the large majority of the people of the Volta region. But, Mr. Speaker, the state security and intelligence agencies remain on high alert to contain the situation. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I want to emphasize that safeguarding the country's security and stability remains a key priority for all state security and intelligence agencies. We will remain vigilant, and we will continue to work towards strengthening our capacity to effectively mitigate all forms of threats. And I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to respond to the question. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.